election headquarters.
Welcome back. Louisiana has underfunded Southern University by about $1 billion, according to the Biden administration. The administration sent a letter to the governor using data from the National Center for Education Statistics, 1987 to 2020. It shows proper funding per student would have led to another $1 billion going to the university for infrastructure and student services. The governor's office tells us they aren't sure how the administration came up with that number, and there has been strides in recent years to increase the funding for the HBCU. Leaders could meet to discuss the matter further. Recent controversy has boiled to the surface over the potential changes to Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance in the state. Millions of Blue Cross Blue Shield policyholders could be facing higher premiums if a proposed sale of the nonprofit insurer is approved to be bought by an out-of-state insurance company. Jasmine Dean reports.
What the commissioner has to decide is whether, after hearing all of the evidence and all of the public comments from everyone, whether in fact this proposed reorganization is in the best interest of the policyholders.
David Caldwell with the Louisiana Department of Insurance says Blue Cross Blue Shield Louisiana is proposing to change its current status of being a nonprofit mutual to a stock insurance company that could be bought by Elevance Health, an out-of-state for-profit insurance company, for $2.5 billion. He says because of this, LDI must hold a public hearing to allow people to share if they support or oppose the acquisition. Caldwell says the commissioner has the final decision, but one has not been made yet.
There is no prejudgment on this. We've taken this responsibility very seriously. We've done everything we can to make sure that the public and all interested parties are as informed as they can be about what's going on.
The proposed sale raised concerns about possible increases in premiums for policyholders in addition to what policyholders will receive after the sale. Senator Fred Mills says the Louisiana Senate will hold a hearing prior to the LDI hearing to allow Blue Cross Blue Shield to give testimony on the merits of the sale. He says the Senate hearing will be September 27th at the state capitol.
That's when information will come out from Blue Cross. They'll talk about the merits of it, how it'll help the policyholders, and it'll also give a chance for the public if they have any comments or concerns.
In North Louisiana, Bossier City Council votes against term limits on their positions, and the issue continues to divide the council. Mayor Tommy Chandler once again brought forth a resolution to put term limits on City Council and the mayor's office after a petition gained enough signatures to put the issue on the ballot for voters to decide. But the vote failed. Organizers with the Term Limits Coalition of Bossier Parish addressed the council, saying the voters are now awake to this issue and who is standing in their way. The Louisiana Attorney General's office previously ruled the Registrar of Voters does not have the authority to decertify the petition that was signed by residents. Shreveport Mayor Tom Arsenault says the two sides are making progress on contract discussions for their Mardi Gras parades. He says the city is willing to compromise on some issues, but not public safety. Dan Jovic reports.
Having the parades at night is simply not something that the city is willing to do.
According to Mayor Tom Arsenault, the issue is a non-starter due to the two shootings which occurred near the Crew of Gemini's parade route last year.
The police were very unhappy with the level of public safety that was provided at last year's parades. We didn't feel like we had enough officers on the street to make necessary arrests.
Last week, letters were exchanged between the city and the crews of Centaur and Gemini as they work to iron out a new contract for the parades to roll.
I'm hopeful that we will be able to come to a consensus.
Arsenault says the parades can now begin from Lake Street onto Clyde Fant Parkway if a contract is reached. He says having two parades, the African American History and Crew of Centaur, rolling on February 3rd remains an issue because they still need 60 police officers.
We used to have 300 officers that were available to work this parade. We now have fewer than 200. It requires a great deal of public safety consideration, and we're hopeful that we can resolve all the remaining issues.
Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser has been vocal about the proposed changes.
I would have preferred that he and I had spoken before he spoke out.
Arsenault says he's meeting with Nungesser on September 29th, and the issues will be discussed.
And once again, Louisiana has broken the state unemployment record. Federal data from the month of August shows the unemployment rate to be at 3.3%, the state's lowest rate ever. The number of unemployed individuals is also at an all-time low, with only 68,000 people without jobs. Governor John Bel Edwards celebrated the achievement by looking back on the bipartisan work over his administration to reduce the unemployment rate from 6% when he took office. In the new year, a new state speaker of the House will be elected by the legislature. Republicans have worked for years to gain a supermajority in the chamber, and they want to try and keep their independence. State Representative Mike Johnson created a petition to support only the Republican candidate who secures the support of the caucus, regardless of who they are. He hopes this pledge will help keep out outside forces that may be pushing for a specific candidate. Johnson says he is not personally trying to become the speaker. Senator Bill Cassidy has renewed his effort to increase the federal minimum wage. That's next. Stay with us.